Started here. Welcome to Elevator World's webinar series. I am T. Bruce McKinnon. I'm the president and CEO of Elevator World, and I will be the moderator for today's webinar. Today's webinar is presented by IArt Training Academy, Restoration Architects. IArt stands for the Institute of Applied Restoration Technologies. And today's topic is learn to remove scratch, damage, in elevator stainless steel quickly and thoroughly. IArt Training Academy can train your team on how to restore scratch damage to stainless steel on elevator surfaces. With specific processes and proprietary chemicals and training, you can learn to eliminate scratches in minutes rather than hours. Currently, IArt is the preferred vendor for major OEMs like OTIS, ThyssenKrupp, SCHINDLER, KONE, FUJITEC, and others throughout California. Today's presenter is Barry Feynman. He's the president and founder of IArt Training Academy. Barry's worked in the restoration industry for more than 25 years and is a restoration specialist. He is also an entrepreneur and business owner. We also have Kristen McMahon, who is the program administrator, as well as Jose Alvarez, who is the co-instructor and program developer. Barry, you may start the webinar.
Well, thank you, T. Bruce. I appreciate that. And Brad, I appreciate that. Very excited to be here with our team to share with you, perhaps for the first time, about metallurgy and about stainless steel, and share with you our technologies, which we have been successful in utilizing over many years. We started our company, so the first question I want to ask before we move on is, how long does your client need to be distressed by this vandalism or other trades scratches? You see on the panel to the right, an actual scratch repair that we were asked to remediate for a customer not within the last 30 days. The question is, does it take 6 weeks to get it removed because you have to overclad and replace the panel? Does it take 5 days to remove because you have to outsource and find a vendor that's in your area that's going to take care of this for you? Or does it take 1 to 2 hours to remove because you are the provider and you're a trained professional in metal restoration? Please write your answer in the chat box and stay tuned until the end to find out our answer to that question. So again, very excited to be able to be here to share with you our new technology and new proven method. Not so new, we've been doing this now since early 2000. I invented a process called Scratch Be Gone. I invented this process on a request by a property manager of all that said, can you remove a scratch out of an elevator? And I said, really? So I was put to task. I put my MacGyver hat on and checked out her scratch, which was a deep FU in the middle of the door of an elevator, and was put to task to try to resolve it. We created a process around that success. And what we're going to do is train or teach you about that today. Elevator scratch removal training introduction. So who we are. I was introduced as a restoration expert, many years in the industry, over 25 years. We're a nationally recognized multi-substrate restoration company since 1999, and even before that, probably. This is a book that we give out for our customers that shows our before and afters when we go out and do job walks. Some of our work. You'll see us on the Golden Gate Bridge. For those of you who know San Francisco, this is one of the 8 man-made wonders of the world. We've been privileged to work on this piece, doing stainless steel in the surrounding areas, but also working on bronze on the Golden Gate Bridge spans going over the bridge. This is the 85th anniversary restoration that we did a few years back. You might know the DeLorean motor car, all stainless steel vehicle. Here I am in the driver's seat, but I was working for 3 days with them on developing and perfecting scratch removal with our process, and also dent removal, which we are now bringing to elevator technicians. SpaceX. This is the home of Elon Musk, and we do a lot of their stainless steel, as well as we've done work on his own private elevators in his home and elsewhere. So we're excited about that. United States Naval Academy, for those of you on the East Coast, engaged in doing monumental restorations for their art sculpture and such. Here we are recently in downtown Los Angeles, working on some new installed cladding for the LA Metro system. And they had, as you can see, a great deal of problems. They had us come out and we worked on refinishing and installing a linear grain and removing all their grind marks and discoloration. And we received a $16,000 check for 2 days of work. Here is one of our technicians in the process. You'll be looking about this machine later.
So who we are, welcome everybody. This is Jose Alvarez. I worked for OTIS, Amtech, and FUJITEC for 28 years in the industry. And so the elevator trade welcomes our expertise to help them with critical modernization projects and service maintenance customers. We partner up with KONE, Mitsubishi, OTIS, Schindler, TKE, Amtech, and FUJITEC. And we belong to the National Association of Elevator Contractors as well. So what our industry partners are saying, we are thankful that Barry's team was able to remove the deep scratches on our elevator doors right before the modernization handover to our customer. Barry saved the day again. His company is a truly valuable resource partner to us. That comes from FUJITEC Elevator a few years back. Barry and Restoration Architects is a very valuable resource from our new installation department here at OTIS in San Diego. They've been able to remedy punch list issues for us over the past 3 years with 100% success. I highly recommend his company and services. And that's from OTIS Elevator. Restoration Architects is our go-to company for scratch damage issues during new installations and modernizations. Their quick response time and professionalism makes working with them a joy. We can always count on a successful outcome. I highly recommend their teams and processes. That's from the local San Diego office in Schindler Elevator Company.
So stainless steel is a beautiful metal until it's scratched. And then what? Stainless is one of those surfaces that can go wrong very quickly. Just working around stainless steel can be very, very fragile. So in this webinar, you're going to learn how to stay calm when accused of scratching stainless steel, or even when you are indeed the culprit. You know that situation where you've got a tool belt or you've got your screwdriver and it slips, or you just have a tracking issue that's a misguiding of the doors. So something that comes along, you're going to be able to learn how to fix that. And what we're going to do is dispel the myths about stainless steel. We're going to give you the confidence to know that you got this, teach you how to talk your client through the process of assessing and addressing the damage, and how to make localized repairs without that proverbial bright spot. Finally, how to sign up for our training course, which is very important.
So some common myths about stainless steel scratches. Deep scratches are permanent. Most folks think that they have to replace the stainless steel skin by cladding the elevator rather than restoring the existing stainless steel. The repair is time consuming. Chemical stains are permanent. Needs to be outsourced. You must repair the entire surface rather than just the one damaged spot. And dents can't be removed. So these are common stainless steel myths that we dispel, and we'll show you in the next few slides.
This is an actual picture of this zigzag scratch vandalism. Our process is very successful in removing deep fingernail grabbing scratches and restoring the long linear pattern in your stainless steel. How does our process work? So we're going to go a little off the grid here. I'm just going to associate here, free associate, if you will. So what I realized when I was challenged back in the very beginning was that I was going to need an abrasive process, abrasive material that was durable and could cut metal. But more importantly, since I was inherently lazy, was how to then take that restored area and colorize it in such a way that I don't have to do the whole panel. The idea of taking a 1-inch scratch out of a door and realizing that I have to do the whole front cab interior to get it to match color was a little omnipresent. So I didn't want to have to do that. So I had a chemistry that we were working with, and I incorporated the two together. So the chemistry is called ultrashine, and this is a proprietary chemistry, water soluble, non-toxic, non-flammable, non-corrosive. I didn't even know if it would work to do what I needed it to do, but in doing the trial, I was very successful and it worked very well. And to the point that I brought back the client to the elevator the next day and they couldn't recognize where it was. So the process is to regrain the metal. And you do that, if you think about it, the grain panel is number 4 finish, has a linear pattern going typically north and south. And all of a sudden we've got 1,000 lines going up north and south, and we have one going 5 degrees to the right or 5 degrees to the left. And we don't like that one. So the job is to fragment up the damaged piece or the damaged scratch, to fragment it up so it disappears to the eye. And then once the eye doesn't recognize it anymore, then it's gone. So under a micron microscope, you may see the surface damage, but to the human eye, we don't see that. So our process is to break up and fragment up that damaged piece, which then puts it back into grain direction. And with the use of the ultrashine, we're able to recolorize that area. So we're going to demonstrate this now in some videos. You're going to see first a hand process video, and then you're going to see pictures, and then you're going to see a motorized process video. This is in our warehouse training center. This is my lead technician that's going to be demonstrating. So please enjoy this. All right, now we're going to address a light scratch repair. This kind of problem is problematic. It's very common when using like a Scotch-Brite material, a non-woven, and you're just doing cleaning indirectly. Instead of going with the grain, have the repair been done with the grain or the cleaning, it may not be a problem. Once it goes off grain, then we have this issue. So we're going to resolve this now using our gray pad in our kit. Again, our pads are specially made with mineral abrasives that cut metal. So we're going to apply, we've already done the ultrashine, which is this white material, and he's going to go up and down the grain direction. And again, you can see at the top where he's working, you can see that blackness. That's the oxidation process taking place with the ultrashine. So that was just a quick introduction to show you the process. It's a combination of a handle, which is a flat backing, and these abrasive pads. We have a variety of abrasive pads, which we'll show you in a few minutes in our kit that have, again, they cut metal, and using that with the chemistry, we're able to regrain and reposition those scratches till they disappear and put them back into line. All right, going to go to the next image. So here's the before on your left that you saw in the image, in the picture, and here's the restored on your right. Now this happens to be done by a hand process. This hand process can be 5-10 minutes. So imagine how many success stories you can have with issues just from rubbing against your tool belt buckles and such, or your fabric of your carts and such, and you have this damage, and you're able to remediate this. Take it off of the punch list. It's not, doesn't get seen by the customer before they complain about it. All right, now we're going to see a motorized process. This is, again, a much more industrial tool. We teach you this as well. So let's see this. So we're going to be pulling up our industrial tool here. We call this the Bertha. She's a large beast of a machine. She has aggressive wheel on a diaphragm, so the diaphragm allows it to flex and work over the surface and float over the surface. And again, we identify the grain direction as up and down pattern. So all the movements that Andrew's going to be doing are going to be up and down, and making sure that the wheel is keeping parallel with the inherent grain. Otherwise, we're going to create problems. We're going to create our own more scratches going sideways. All right, let's see how this is. Again, the idea is just to introduce you to the process, so we don't have the time to go through a thorough demonstration of this. Let me see if I can get out of this next slide. So here's the before that he was working on. And there's a technique that's much more efficient. You saw him doing some edge type of chopping with the machine. We teach all this. And this is on the right is the finished product. Now we have an intermediary process, wheel processes also for doing lighter scratch. This is a vandalism, which is typical of the kind of problem on satin finish that we see. Jose?
So what we have learned, property managers love our method of scratch removal because there's less elevator downtime. It's a cost-effective solution. Quick repair time, like new appearance, and our process also is LEED qualified. Elevator companies love our method of scratch removal because there's short lead times. There's no need to order material. Quick punch list resolutions, cost-effective solution, maintains customer confidence, and protects the bottom line.
And everything is about the bottom line. So why our method over the other guys? What makes our solution unique? Again, traditional methods use a dry process. They'll take a non-woven materials such as Scotch-Brite pads and such. So they're generic type materials. The time that it takes doing that kind of a program is very costly and time consuming. Our method is considered a wet process because we utilize, again, the ultrashine proprietary chemistry. And in doing so, we're able to accelerate the speed in which we're able to bring about a resolution. We've created technically advanced materials with abrasives that cut metal. These are specialized materials. Also a non-woven, but again, they have cutting grits that cut metal, which makes it more affordable because the time that we're involved is faster, and we have quick results.
So this is this slide represents a replacement option rather than a restoration option. And what I wanted to show in this slide is in California, typically we have some of the highest labor rates, and cost for material are high. As far as replacement of doors, cladding, doing the returns, entrance jams, and sills. You know, if you were to do one of each for an elevator, it would run you towards $18,000 and $19,000. If you were to opt to restore the material in place, our cost or your cost would be only be $22.40. So that's a big cost difference, and this is something that you might want to add to your open order service line for additional revenue.
And also the importance here of what's being demonstrated is the opportunity to make revenue, upsell opportunities because of this difference in price. And the inconvenience to the client is significantly reduced, as you can see in terms of the amount of time required to provide this service between whether replacing it or restoration.
Correct. So the average elevator company sees thousands of doors per year. If you could remove scratches and just 100 of them, think of how much more open order profitability you would add to your business. So a typical repair would run about $650. You'd be making about $65,000 extra a year. And that's for a class that costs $6,500 for a 2-day class. So that's a pretty big opportunity right there. It pays for itself.
Yeah, so we can see how quick the ROI is on this in terms of the return on your investment of coming out here and learning our program. So why is this important? Everybody in this call has profitability foremost in their thinking. Whether you're a service professional or a business owner, your company thrives and survives on profits. Profits are not only based on how much you charge for a service. No, instead, they're based on the bottom line. How much you walk away with at the end of the project based on expenses, outlays, and any losses you incur if something goes wrong. We've helped out a lot of elevator companies as a support company save their bottom line because they were on the hook, in this case, an OTIS, new construction, new install, and they were on the hook for in excess of $300,000 in replacement material. And the time for that was going to be months to accomplish. And they were at that point of needing to turn it over to the customer. In this case, the government of San Diego County government. And, we came in and were able to save them a great deal of money, hundreds of thousands of dollars. So are you ready to increase your profits and protect your bottom line?
So add scratch removal to your open order arsenal. Just this easy. Once your sales reps go out to the job, they take a picture of a scratch, send the photo to the property or facility manager and ask if they would like to remove it. And once they reply, share the cost and close the sale.
You'll also see a dimple on this particular image. So this course is not designed necessarily to address the dimple, but I left it in here because we have an upcoming course that addresses dent pulling, and we've been successful in providing that as well. So add a highly profitable and groundbreaking service today. And here's what you get with the IArt Elevator Training course. And so it's a hands-on and combined online training where you'll learn how to easily remove all 5 types of stainless steel scratches and damages, how to add scratch removal service to your business right away. You'll also, all attendees receive our restoration toolbox, which I'll show you next, which is an $850 value. You get that as part of the tuition, but that toolbox will earn you in excess of $10,000. So it's paid for itself very quickly. I want to share a testimonial video here that was created.
I I found out about the IArt elevator class online. I did some research about what was the best way to learn how to work on stainless steel and elevators. These guys came up on top of the search.
Barry Feynman created a great technique in removing elevator scratches, and I never seen it before, and it's very effective.
I'm one of the IArt training instructors here at the Training Academy. I love to have new students come in and learn about our services and stainless steel restoration.
The one thing that I really liked was the setup they had for the elevators, where there were 2 panels and we were able to work hands-on directly on the real material.
I love going to the hotel today because the customer was able to see the difference from start to finish.
I was very pleased to have the opportunity to go to a real job site, in this case a hotel, because it prepared me for the real thing.
Barry Feynman is 40 years experience in the industry. He's very well known here in San Diego and throughout the country.
Not only I gained the knowledge on how to work on stainless steel,
I also learned how to budget for my equipment and my pads to complete the job.
but also things that are going to help me in my business, how to put a budget together, how to put a proposal together, how to talk to the client.
I recommend the IArt Training Academy for anybody that wants to start their own business, anybody that wants to add to their existing business.
After taking the class and after taking the test, I am very confident in starting my own business.
So I hope you enjoyed that little bit of propaganda, but it's a true statement. People that leave our school go on to be very successful and make a difference. So I mentioned to you our large area restoration kit. This is our toolbox that we give to students as they come to the school. Actually, we send this out in advance of the school, so you have a chance to work with this. It contains the proprietary abrasives and our ultrashine, our secret sauce that makes the very best of manual and motorized solutions. So you'll see we have a drill with some motorized components of wheels, and we have our abrasive pads. So this combination allows you to do light duty repair, chemical stains and discoloration, all the way up to deep gouges, metal missing gouges. And yes, you can do it by hand. It's just that, you know, when you have a 7-inch metal missing gouge, that's a lot of elbow grease, but you can do it if you don't have electrical power. We've been very successful. We have a future course available coming down the road. I mentioned the dent pulling with DeLorean. This is they use obviously a 260 system, a 240 system at the factory. This is a 120 system that we've co-created, and this is an effective dent puller. It just takes a little bit of time, and we use this to pull the dent, get it above the horizon, flat file it down, and then we use our scratch begone process to regrain the number 4 finish. At the IArt Training Academy, we're located here in Carlsbad, California, 5 minutes from this picture. So you can come and put your feet in the water after class and enjoy. What you get in our SSR1, which is our stainless steel restoration elevator 1 class, is 2 days of training. We have a metallurgy 101, so you can talk and understand stainless steel and metals. You have a hands-on experience on the multitude of tools that we have available. And we have an off-site repair experience at a hotel or similar. And then at the end of the day, probably the most important is the certification from the IArt Training Academy. Now, IArt Training Academy is obviously self-certifying, but we carry a big weight, and we have a large following. And because of who we are and what we've been able to create, we have a credible system that works and has a reputation. So part of the certification then allows members, or the students, to become members of our ongoing family of company, and for future discounts on products, discounts and access to future classes, time with myself and my team throughout the year, and also referrals that come our way for your location. So if you'd like to learn more about our program at our school, enter into the chat and raise your hand, and we will reach out with more information and your next steps. So going back to the first question I made on the time that it would take for us to, or someone, let's say yourselves, to remove that scratch. The answer was, and drum roll please, we did it in under 20 minutes from the time that we were set up, and from the time that the inspection was done was just around 20 minutes, and it was very satisfactory. We're actually waiting now for that same client because they have 3 other elevators with excessive swastika emblems and scratch. So they're going to be giving us the rest of that project here shortly. We're very proud about that. So now it's time for a Q&A, and I would certainly open up the floor. We have a good number of participants and very excited about having you all on board and having a chance to tell you about our program. So thank you for listening, and we are all available to hear your questions and give you some exciting answers.
All right. Really interesting presentation, Barry and Jose. Thanks so much. Looks like we've got some questions in the chat box. Let's just get started here, and we've got something here talking about can any of the methods remove any type of scratches? I guess maybe there's a certain depth, or how bad the scratches get before they maybe can't be repaired. Is there a level?
Yeah, so we have yet to have a scratch that we can't get out, and that's saying a lot because we've been doing this for 20 years. So there, I mean, shy of we don't do dents in this process, so we can't get a dent out if it's related to a scratch. We can get gouges out, and we can get chemical stains out. So everything in between is doable. We also remove rust and discoloration from that kind of nature as well. And there's also those kinds of things that are just unimaginable. We just don't know what they call them. We can't describe what they are, but they do come off and they do come out. We're also on the Rigidex metal. The background of our presentation is somewhat like a Rigidex metal, which is that anti-graffiti pimple kind of texture. And we've been very successful in removing it off the Rigidex. The only limitation of Scratch Be Gone and our process, since you asked, Louis, is we cannot do mirror polish. So it must be on a number 4 finish, has to have a linear grain. Okay. It cannot be a mirrored finish. So that's a distinctive process that requires a different kind of program. We can educate you on that. We can teach you on that. It takes a lot more work. So this is strictly for number 4 linear pattern stainless steel.
Okay, what about, we've got a question here from Henry Peely on removing weld marks of, say, poorly finished welding on the frame?
Yep, we just did that. I mentioned in that LA Metro system where we were working, we had a lot of poorly made welds and unlevel surface areas. Now we're talking about plate. So this is on stainless steel plating, like almost a 1/4 inch thick, as opposed to an elevator door. But yes, if you've got the blue, black colored weld marks, we can remove that with our hand process and the ultrashine chemical.
Okay. Another question from Henry Peely. What about a process for bronze?
If your reference is to the bronze oil rub finishes on brass elevator doors, yes, we do. So we have a patina process. We do that process here. It's not part of this school. It's a future class, but and it takes a lot more work. So when you're working with brass elevators that have an oil rub bronze finish, the brown finish, you have a clear coat, and that's what keeps and preserves the patina finish. So you have a clear coat. If you have a brass elevator, which is golden color as opposed to stainless steel in color, again, it has a clear coat to preserve it from tarnishing and oxidizing. So the process is to have to restore that is to remove the clear coat, remove the damage, and then reapply a clear coat. It's a much more artistry involved, a lot more work involved, as opposed to the straight application of stainless steel. Hence, that's why we have this core for stainless steel. But we're familiar with brass. As far as if your question is more about bronze, we also do bronze restoration, i.e. public art and sculpture, hand pull, door pulls and door hardware and stuff. So we have answers for all of that, open to a conversation by phone, and we can certainly arrange for that as well. Another area which we don't touch on, but we can share, we're also very successful in removing scratch out of glass. So any of your cabs that are clad with glass windows, we are able to remove scratch from that. Not with this process, it's a different process. So as a multi-substrate restoration company, we say yes to a lot of challenges, and we're very successful in a lot of challenges. So not only do stainless steel, we do bronze and oil rub finishes and brass, copper. We also do glass and other areas. So we're open to conversation about that as well.
And your goal, Barry, is to help the elevator industry, in particular maintenance companies, understand how they can learn this system through your training course, utilize your proprietary product to have an add-on income. So when they're out doing a maintenance job, they see these scratches, they can upsell or say, hey, they can repair these things. So it seems like an easy product to sell, I guess, once they've gone through the training and fully understand the process. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely. T. Bruce, you hit it on the nail. We see all the time the grief in the faces of the customers, clients. We also deal with residential clients and manufacturers of appliances and such. So we hear the grief and we hear the anguish on the elevator companies. And the fact that they have to turn a project over and they don't have the time to reclad it. And can you help us? So we know the value of what we bring and the simplicity of this. You're historically, I think you're educated as an industry that metal refinishing is a hardened project. It's a long time to do. You have to be specialized. You have to be expert. You've got to have 30 years knowledge behind you. We just want to repudiate that. We want to share with people that it doesn't take all that. We can teach you quickly and effectively and efficiently, get yourself off the hook, get your customer satisfied and back in service. We don't want that swastika to be on that door for 6 months or 6 weeks waiting for a new cladding. We want to help them resolve that right now. So it's a win-win-win for everybody. We're always in for the win-win-win. So whatever value it is to the customer and to the elevator industry, and obviously it's going to be beneficial for us as well. So we like to share this.
I'd like to add something to that. As elevator professionals, they could use this system to leverage with their existing customers to keep the contract. They can beautify the elevator for the customer for another 5-year contract per se. or use it as an open order where the customer doesn't have enough money to clad all their elevator, but yet get to the same result, which is to restore the existing stainless steel panels. So there's a lot of ways that the elevator folks can go ahead and use this service and these techniques and experience to their advantage.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many elevators I've been in and seen scratches and just look terrible, you know, particularly apartment buildings in big cities like New York, where people are moving in and moving out all the time, where, you know, for a nominal cost of, say, you know, maybe even a yearly, you know, once a year, you know, the maintenance company comes in there and cleans up those scratches and makes that cab look better. So it seems like a really easy product to upsell.
Yeah, thank you. One observation, one of the questions that I do get is a concern that the union would interfere with the ability to do this. We've actually met with our union reps here in Southern California, and also on behalf of ThyssenKrupp and a few other elevator companies have talked to their union reps. And because we're recognized as a cleaning company, what we're doing is we're providing a cleaning restoration company or process. We're not looked upon as, we're not changing weights. We're not dealing with electrical components. We're not, you know, ripping up the floors or taking out the panels. All of our repairs are done in place, in situ. So we don't make an impact on the elevator. So we don't fall under the jurisprudence, I guess, or the purview of the unions, and they recognize us as a cleaning facilitator, not unlike, you know, your ABMs of the world and your janitorial companies going in and cleaning. So we don't need a special permit. We're not in violation with the unions. Actually, I'd like to think that we're in collaboration with them.
We'd like to partner with them.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Talk to us a little bit about the cost of the training, and you know what that entails a little bit.
Sure. So the cost is established. So we have an introductory cost at this moment. It's $6,500. I think in our presentation and in our the idea of taking 100 doors at $650 and seeing a $65,000 return. And the cost of that return is negligible. The amount of material, the amount of labor in the big picture is rather negligible. So the profitability is very high. So the return on investment is very quick. So we established the $6,500 entry level pricing. I expect in the next few months, it'll probably go up to, and more, it'll go up to more. But in the pricing, you get all of our knowledge as it relates to stainless steel satin finish. We also give you the tools and the technology. We give you the hands-on to work with it, and then to be able to advise you how to utilize it best in the field. Again, the certification that comes along with the class provides for discounts on product replacement materials, and for upgrades, and for future classes, and for brush up classes. So, and you'll have access to us. So, you know, again, it's an all-encompass comprehensive program. You leave here knowing that you're in good hands, and you have somebody here that's going to understands where you've been and where you're going, and what you desire to do. Whether that be in the United States or it be internationally, it be in, you know, we can provide solutions internationally as well. Although we're not set up currently to train out of country, especially with COVID, but we have created our school to be a remote virtual school, and we're going to be doing more to set up cameras and such in the warehouse classroom so you can see up close processes. And then, you know, when a day opens up that you can come here, you're invited to do so. And
getting the materials and the kits and things like that is that's all available directly from your organization, correct?
Right. These are all developed by us. They're proprietary to us. What I did not show in this presentation is that we have a two-man workstation, which is a beefed up version of the hand toolbox that we demonstrated or we showed you here. So we have a two-man workstation with all the materials, power cords, drills, ample abrasives, ample ultrashine, even the large Bertha that we did demonstrate the use of, all comes in this box. It's a $2,400 value, but that'll make you tens of thousands of dollars. Okay, and it'll save you as a CYA for a elevator company. It'll save you hundreds of thousands of dollars of replacement and bad faith, ill will, but also the inconvenience to your customer. Nobody wants to be 6 weeks out from receiving a check because they can't close the project and they can't get out of the project and turn the keys over because of the scratch damage. And that can be either your scratch damage that you created with your tool belt or your screwdriver, or it could be the trades. You know, how many trades that walk into your elevator before the blankets are put up, or even when the blankets are put up, they scratch it. You know, it wasn't you, you know, it was somebody else, but you're on the hook for it. So you can fix it. And you don't have to call the likes of Stuart Dean and others to remediate this and wait for their time frame.
Right.
We're very proud about that statement.
Well, very good, guys. This was really an interesting presentation. Barry, Jose, and Christian, we really appreciate you guys today. Very informative. I think very a needed product for the elevator industry. And so everyone attending can find more information at IArtTraining.com. Each of you will receive a follow-up email with information about this presentation, as well as how to access it on our website. We'll also, Barry and his team will follow up with you guys on more information. And we had really great attendance today, and really appreciate everybody attending. Thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah, we
Thank you
thank
very much.
we thank Elevator World for partnering with us and asking us to be, to present this. And we think it's a real valuable asset to any elevator company.
Excellent. Thank you very
Okay.
much, everyone.
Thank you, guys. Y'all have a good afternoon. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.